You're not a missing half to a best friend's necklace or to a boyfriend and girlfriend bracelet. But I do think that if you never learn to be alone and that you're constantly going to be chasing, you are an individual. Act like one. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to start a new series about navigating your 20s and just being in your 20s. I feel like having an open conversation while I'm going through it is going to be really helpful, not only for me but other people who are also navigating this difficult time. So I'm hoping to make this a series, and if you guys have anything you want me to touch topics on, or if you enjoy it, please let me know. But for today I want to talk about the importance of being your own best friend. So I'm sure we've all been in a place where we felt lonely and we felt like we needed another person to make us feel comfortable, to help us through a difficult time, and that's completely normal. I think society really pushes the narrative that if you aren't with another person, you're incomplete, and I think that can be seen in not only relationships but also in friendships. I think a lot of the times we see ourselves as half, we're not full without another person, and I think that can be really dangerous, especially when you find yourselves in these really isolating periods of your life. I think a good example that everyone can relate to is going through the pandemic, where a lot of us were stuck at home, having to be locked in our rooms with our families, and some people aren't that close to their families. Maybe they weren't even living with their families. I was at home during the pandemic since that was junior year of high school. But so I think that's a universal experience that we've all had, of just understanding the importance of being alone and being kind of uncomfortable with it. It definitely is a really big shift if you're used to being around a lot of people and then having to solely rely on yourself for that company. But basically the point I wanted to touch on here is that it's not your fault that you feel this way, because society has really conditioned us into thinking pairs and to feel not complete if we aren't within one. You are not a missing half of a whole. You're not a missing half to a best friend's necklace or to a boyfriend and girlfriend bracelet. You are an individual at your core, and you should be able to feel complete by yourself. I feel like this is easier said than done, because it takes a lot of conditioning and a lot of intentional alone time. But I do think that if you never learn to be alone and never learn to truly enjoy your own company, that you're constantly going to be chasing things and other people. They're never really going to fulfill you, because they're going to make you feel like you're missing something, because that fulfillment comes from within. And so if you're looking for it within other people and you never find it because it's not there, you're going to start thinking that there's something wrong with you. My experience with friendships and being my own best friend throughout my 20s has basically just been able to spend intentional time with myself, doing things that I love and thinking of myself as a separate person. And what this really means is I will talk to myself. I will admit that I love talking to myself. This is part of that. But basically I feel like talking to yourself is such a great way to really understand the way that you speak, what you find funny, what your interests are, and just thinking about your thought patterns in general. I think if I didn't speak my thoughts out loud, that I wouldn't have such a solid grasp on who I am. So I definitely recommend it for people who are trying to get to know themselves more and just to become more comfortable being alone, because I think creating almost a friendship with myself, when I talk to myself, I see myself as another person. So it's yes, I'm talking to myself, but it's there's me talking and then there's the me that's also listening. And maybe that's crazy, but I don't know, it works for me, and it really helps me create a relationship and a friendship within myself. Also, I'm low-key shaking. Can you see that? Can you see me shaking? I had an energy drink this morning, and it's been making my heart beat really fast all day. So if I'm talking really fast, it's the energy drink. On top of this whole arching topic of being your own best friend is the conversation of being alone. And I think it's really important to redefine what alone means, because alone doesn't always mean lonely, and it doesn't have to mean lonely. I think for me, when I'm alone, I genuinely feel so fulfilled. I feel it's my recharging time. I look forward to my alone time, because I know that no matter what I say or what I do, it is a safe space, because I'm not gonna judge me. I love me. I understand if I need to go take a fucking nap, I need to go fucking take a nap. If I want to do my work, I'm gonna feel so proud of myself for doing my work. I think you need to reframe your alone time, or maybe just use your alone time in different ways that don't make you feel ashamed to be alone. Maybe that looks like drawing a bath for yourself and watching a good movie in the tub, or maybe that is cooking a nice meal for yourself and putting on your favorite TV show, or maybe that's doing your hobby. Creating intentional alone time will really help you reframe that idea that being alone is lonely, because it really isn't. Like, if you enjoy your own company, you're not going to feel lonely. I think the best thing that just comes from being your own best friend is knowing that you will not settle for lesser relationships. Because you know what the most lonely feeling in the world is? Being in a room full of people who do not care about you. Yeah, that feeling happens to me like way too often, and it's not good. Like, I would honestly rather be alone than with people who don't actually genuinely care about me and like want to see me succeed and like want to hear about my life. I would rather be alone, and I think you need to feel that way too, because if you don't, you're going to settle for half-ass relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships. Like, you need to be able to treat yourself the way that you would treat someone that you love, and when you do that, you immediately exclude anyone who does not treat you the same. Because if you're not doing it, I can do it. So like, why are you here? I am like literally shaking. Like, I'm like literally quaking right now. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go to bed. Another big tip I have for like creating a relationship with yourself is to hold yourself accountable. For me, this looks like making sure that I set a timer for myself. So if I'm being lazy and I'm laying in bed, like, I set a timer for myself of like, okay, Alex, like, you can lay in bed for 1 more hour, but then you need to get up and you need to either get out of the house, you need to start doing work, you need to do something. Because when you start to like keep yourself accountable for the things that you do and then follow through on them, you gain so much self-respect. Like, I don't think I've respected myself this much in so long. I just kind of got used to like getting absorbed in the what ifs and feeling like I needed to do things a certain way, and never really like allowing myself to like stick to what I know is the right decision. Like, I think I got a little bit swayed from the path, and I knew what I should have done and I didn't keep myself accountable. And so for that, I didn't respect myself as much, because I knew that I knew better than to not make those decisions. And ever since, I have been keeping myself accountable and sticking to my boundaries and my expectations for myself. Like, my self-respect has just gone through the roof, and now I like can't even fathom like not sticking to those, because I will tell you, there is nothing better than feeling accomplishment of posting a video every week while I'm going through school, going to the gym, like I have another job, I'm hanging out with friends. Like, it is so great to feel like I'm able to still do things for me and feel accountable. You just like literally need to be your own best friend, because no one is gonna be there for you but you. Like, that's the only thing you can control. And it sounds so like, I don't know, it sounds so like morbid, but I don't think it has to be morbid. It just helps you put things in perspective and realize that like, you are the only person that will be with yourself for your whole entire lifeline. Like, it's sad, people end up leaving your life, whether that's a breakup, whether that's the end of a relationship, friendship, whether that's, you know, death. Like, at some point, anyone and everyone is going to leave your life. And I don't mean to say that in a like, oh my god, but like in a way of just like, you need to make sure that this is okay, because you know that that is going to happen. There is nothing that will change the fact that someone will leave your life eventually in one of those forms. So you need to make sure that your relationship with yourself is going good, because that's the only one that will consistently be there no matter what. I don't know if this like skill of like being my own best friend came out of just like genuine like social anxiety, where like I couldn't talk to people, but like either way, I feel like it worked out for the best. So honestly, I just think we need to stop putting our relationship with ourselves last. Like, that needs to come first, because your relationship with yourself eventually trickles down into all the other relationships within your life. If you don't love yourself, like, how are you supposed to feel loved by another person? And I've witnessed this firsthand. Like, it's really, really hard to love someone who does not know who they are, or even just like care for themselves. And it's just, it's like, it's off-putting. Like, it's just, you're like, what do you mean you don't want to have goals and you don't like want to work to be a better version of yourself? And two, it's just like, you can't get through to that person, you know, because like they have to fix this first. And I think that a lot of the times we think that someone else is going to be able to fix that for us, but like, honey, that's not how that works. It's just not how it works, because again, you're not half of a missing necklace or half of a missing matching bracelet. You are an individual. Act like one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this first episode to this 20-something diaries. I don't really know what to call it yet. I think it's just gonna be like unfiltered talks, maybe. I don't know, titles still in the works, but I know this is like very different from my usual content of like, oh, I'm so cute, but like guys, I love to talk. But yeah, please let me know what you guys want me to talk about. I have like 20 other ideas already, so like if you don't give me ideas, I'm gonna have ideas. But thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I don't know. Bye.